You hold your phone in your hands, and again you stumble upon the promises of follow your passion and be happy every day. Instagram is full of colorful pictures and inspirational quotes. But what if there's a trap behind those words? What if the promised ease turns out to be frustration and fatigue? Have you ever wondered why many people give up on their dreams after just a year or two? Imagine a person who lives an idea from morning till night. He spends all his money on training, traveling, and meeting with gurus, but he gets very tired. The gurus say, "That's normal. Hang in there and success will come." But then why don't most people achieve their goals? Today we're going to take apart Schopenhauer's old philosophical view and modern research that questions the follow your passion mantra. Schopenhauer warned, endless desire is the source of suffering. And he's right. When we chase vivid sensations, we forget reality. We risk being left with nothing when the blazing passion goes out. What if we start looking the other way? What if instead of jumping into the unknown, we choose small but precise steps? In just a couple minutes, you'll see why a strategy of smart planning and skill development yields far more lasting results. I'll talk about examples from the lives of ordinary people, not stars from the covers of glossy magazines. You'll hear modern research figures and 19th century philosophical thoughts combined into one practical formula. Stay with us for 2 minutes, and you will get the first rule: how not to lose yourself in the pursuit of illusion. And most importantly, you'll see that the path to success can be calm and consistent. Are you ready to discard the myths and look at things soberly? Then let's get started right now. You hear again, find your calling and follow it to the end. Sounds enticing. But what if it's just a pretty wrapper? Open your eyes. How many people do you know who have lived a dream all their lives and never faced a problem? Probably not many. Often the story turns out to be different. First the inspiration, then the first setbacks, and in the end, disappointment. You believed in the promise of ease, and you're faced with despair. Motivation gurus promise that passion will empower and motivate. They tell you about people who just loved what they did and achieved incredible things. But you won't hear about those who lost everything by quitting a stable job for a phantom dream. You won't hear about classmates who saved up course credits and then couldn't recoup their investment. No one wants those stories. They don't get shown on YouTube. They don't get printed on trending blogs. Dependence on inspiration is an unreliable pillar. Imagine a house on sand. It may not stand for long. It's the same with passion. It comes and goes. One day you're excited. Tomorrow you're tired and disappointed. A month later, it seems like a child's play. And then you're at a fork in the road. Quit or keep trying. And time goes on. How many years has it been since you first decided to follow your heart? A year? 2, 3, and where are the results? Think about it. Follow your passion. Advice doesn't take into account the real world. They tell you to turn a blind eye to the risks. It's going to be hard, but you'll get through it, they assure you. But what if you don't make it? You'll find yourself facing financial ruin or lose faith in yourself. The pain of failure can be greater than the joy of success. Is that what you want? Then it's time to change your approach. Ask yourself, what's more valuable, the eternal pursuit or gradual growth? I'm not suggesting you give up doing what you love. I'm saying stop trusting slogans. Avoid extremes. Give up the illusion that passion alone will make you successful. Choose the path of action. Concrete, systematic, without unnecessary romance. It's not about passion, it's about how you use it. You can start small. Try taking a small course. Practice the practice. Gather feedback. Don't spend all your resources at once. Take steps, not leaps. Test every action to make sure it's working. If something isn't going well, adjust the plan. That way, you'll conserve your energy, and you won't sink into the burnt-out enthusiast syndrome. Your time is valuable. Don't let a pseudo-guru play on your hopes. You are not a child to believe in fairy tales. You are an adult, a reasonable and sensible one. Before you jump in, scout the bottom, lay it all out, determine the risks and benefits, and only then, act. You've already taken the first step by watching this video. The next step is to recognize the path to success is more complicated than a pretty phrase in a motivational post. Let go of illusions. Set your mind to work. Ask yourself clear questions. What do I want to get? What skills do I need to do it? What plan of action will bring results? Answer them and don't stop. This is true freedom from myth. Have you ever noticed that passion is born suddenly? It's like a flash, bright, blazing. But is it everlasting? Schopenhauer thought not. For him, passion was just a symptom of meaningless desire. He was born in 1788. He lived in a world of aristocracy and poverty. He wrote about what drives people. He called it the will. The will is a continuous stream of desires. Every desire brings suffering. You want freedom? A new desire arises. You want love? Immediately fear of losing it. It's a vicious cycle, and it's endless. Schopenhauer said that man is like a mill. The wind of passion turns its wheel. The mill moves, but the grain remains untouched. There's noise and movement, but no meaning. You labor, you try, but success eludes you, because you're not chasing a real goal. You're chasing emotion. Schopenhauer warned that the greater the desire, the greater the suffering of not fulfilling it. And that's not a philosophical abstraction. These are the laws of life. You can test it for yourself. Imagine you're passionate about launching a startup. You're passionate about it. You think you'll find happiness, but the further you go, the more obstacles you encounter. Bureaucracy, competitors, your own doubts. Passion crackles like dry wood, and you fall, tired, disappointed, over and over again. People around you encourage you, be stronger, keep fighting. But where does strength come from when the desire has faded? Schopenhauer answered, from nowhere. For will is not a source of energy, it is a source of pain. He wrote of compassion as a rare salvation. Compassion is a momentary respite from the will. When you feel pity for the suffering of another, you forget your own. You are momentarily freed from the pursuit. But this is not the practice of a startup. This is the practice of life. It won't make you a million, but it will give you clarity. You'll see, purpose can be different. Not in passion. It's about working on yourself. It's about moderate desire, understanding your limits. And here's the most important question. Do you want to be a slave to blazing passion, or the master of your own steps? Schopenhauer advises the latter. He did not call for the abandonment of interests. He taught to soften your desire, to control it, to keep it on a leash, not let it go free. Only then will passion not destroy you from within. It's the only way to keep your mind clear and your real strength. Remember, desire is not a friend. It is an eternal critic. It demands more and more. And the more you give, the more you suffer. Today you want to be an artist. Tomorrow you want to be a musician. The day after that, you want to be an entrepreneur. And so on and so forth. Schopenhauer warned that passion is a trap. It beckons, but it leads to suffering. And success will not come to those who depend on emotion. You may ask, how then to live? Schopenhauer's answer is simple. Try to separate desire from action. Act calmly, gradually, without passionate fervor. Seek not the flame, but the heat, the grain of maturity, not the noise of the mill. Remember this thought. It will come in handy when the passion flares up again. Keep watching. We'll tell you how to tame the will and take control. You've probably heard about the research that shatters the myth of passion as the primary driver of success. Stay with me. It's important. One respected publication, Harvard Business Review, conducted a large-scale study of the careers of more than 1,000 people. It turned out the key success factor was not passion at all. Consistency and skills were more important. People who polished their skills year after year achieved more, not those who were just eager to do what they loved. The Journal of Career Assessment has an article on occupational commitment. Researchers have categorized career choices into two types. The first is when you are on fire with your passion. The second is when you make decisions based on analysis, the marketplace, and your own capabilities. The result is surprising. The second ones earn consistently more. They change jobs less often. They burn out less. Take Angela Duckworth's research on grit, indomitable perseverance. This scientist proved long-term drive is more important than a spark of passion. The scientists took students and athletes. Those who showed persistence went further, even if their passion wasn't exactly a mature idea to begin with. Here's another example. Psychologists at UCLA surveyed graduates. Those who started their careers with a strict plan and methodical learning reported higher levels of satisfaction 5 years later. People who followed their hearts without a clear plan, on the other hand, often felt lost. You'll say, but the soul is asking for a flame. That's right. Emotions are a powerful motor, but without control, they can leave you on the side of the road. Imagine a steam locomotive. If you don't put the rails in place, even the most powerful engine stalls. And so it is with passion. Without skill and a plan, it's useless. Another discovery. Economists at Oxford studied the growth of startups. They analyzed 100 projects. They found that startups based on market analysis and gradual launching are twice as likely to survive as passionate startups. Those who plunged headlong into the idea but missed testing the model often closed after a year. We shouldn't forget the cognitive trap either. This is when you see confirmations of your expectations and ignore the framework of reality. Motivational coaches drum into you the idea of passion as a panacea, and you unwittingly dismiss all the buts and ifs. It's important to remember, studies are not dry numbers. They're stories of real people, people just like you. They started small, they assessed the risks, they adjusted the rate, and only then did they increase the rate. Stay tuned. In the next installments, we'll break down real cases. You'll see how to break down big goals into small steps, how to collect feedback, and how to combine intrinsic motivation with objective data. This will be your practical roadmap. Stay tuned. Your understanding of what really matters for success will soon become much clearer, and you'll be able to build your sustainable and effective self-actualization strategy step by step. Have you ever wondered why many people who give up everything for passion end up at a broken trough? Success stories look like bright lights on a hill, but what lurks in the shadows of those lights? Burnout, the lost years, disillusionment. These are the pitfalls that motivators don't show. Imagine an artist. He dreams of painting day and night. He quits his job. He puts all his money and time into the hobby. At first, the enthusiasm kicks in. He paints 10 hours a day. His friends are jealous. He feels like he's on a high. But after a couple months, fatigue sets in. Pain in his hands. A creative crisis. The canvas remains unfinished. No money. The mood sinks. And so the artist finds himself on the brink. He asks himself, was it worth risking stability for the sake of phantom happiness? Now think of the entrepreneur. He believes that passion for the idea will allow him to overcome any obstacle. He takes out a loan. He assembles a team. He launches the product. At the start, it's adrenaline. He's willing to work around the clock. But the market doesn't forgive mistakes. Customers are slow to pay. Competitors move faster. Every day brings new problems. Reporting, taxes, clients, marketing. Passion is like a fragile vessel. It cracks under the weight of reality, and the entrepreneur risks losing not only enthusiasm, but all his assets. Burnout is not just fatigue. It's when your heart stops responding to what you love to do. You don't feel joy. You feel nothing but emptiness. You start to ask, why am I doing this at all? And that question is scarier than any failure. You may lose money, but it's a lot harder to regain faith in yourself. Another pitfall is ignoring the market. When you follow your passion, you look inside yourself. You filter out all the buts and ifs. But anything you don't know is dangerous. Your favorite ciphers are of no use to anyone. Your hobby may be a highly specialized niche segment with no demand. The market may not be ready to accept your ideas at all. And when you realize it too late, it is impossible to get back the resources invested. Emotional instability is another trap. Passion is like a flame. It can be hot and bright, but it's hard to control. Today you're at the peak of motivation. Tomorrow you're depressed, and everything seems pointless. Emotions are like the sea. They're stormy. They can sink your boat. And if you're a captain sailing blindly, without a compass or map, there's almost no chance of reaching your destination. Think of the mythical story of Icarus. His wings were made of paraffin and feathers. He wanted to fly higher than the sun, and so he did. But the sun's rays melted the paraffin, and he fell into the sea. Passion is paraffin. It can lift you up, but when reality heats up, the paraffin will melt. You'll fall down, and you'll fall hard. Is that the fate you want? Of course not. But many people follow the same path because they're not told about the pitfalls. They're told about the endless freedom and excitement. But no one talks about the cold shower of reality, about the bills that need to be paid, the skills that need to be developed, the patience that must be practiced. How does this play out in practice? You signed up for a course. You paid for it in installments. Your expectations are off the charts. You expect a breakthrough, but you're given exercises. Theory, 2 hours a week. That's it. The rest is your responsibility. And then you realize that without daily practice, nothing will happen. Without constant skill training, success will not come by itself. Without system and discipline, the flame goes out. Herein lies the main trap. We're afraid of a systematic approach. We're afraid of discipline. We want to fly high and fast. But the real climb is a gradual process. It's brick by brick. It's when you accomplish small victories every day. It's when you measure progress and adjust your plan. It's when you celebrate interim accomplishments. It's when you don't fall into the abyss of disappointment. Then you move forward steadily. Are you tired of illusions? Do you want a real strategy? In the next installment, we'll look at how to build such a systematic approach, how to reduce risk and conserve energy, how to use passion but not be its slave, how to find your footing not in your emotions but in your accomplishments. Stay tuned. Your journey to success is just beginning. Are you ready for a real plan? Then hold on tight. There are no magic slogans. There's just a clear pattern. First rule, assess your strengths. Sit down with a piece of paper. Write down what you're good at. No big words. Specifically, what do you do better than anyone else? What do you do quickly and efficiently? It's not a passion, it's a fact. Second rule, run micro experiments. Don't just quit all at once. Small steps are safer. You want to write articles? Write one. Post it on your blog. See how people react. Want to paint pictures? Sell inexpensive work on a marketplace. Test the demand. This isn't a romance. This is a reality check. Third rule, gather feedback. Don't expect approval from everyone. Seek the opinions of experts. Ask for criticism. Ask specifically, what should be improved? Where are the weaknesses? Feedback is your compass. Without it, you're lost. Listen carefully, but make your own decisions. Fourth rule, adapt. Your strategy is not a rigid plan. It's a roadmap. Change course if you need to. If an experiment fails, it doesn't mean you're a failure. It means you learned something important. Revamp the plan. A smart person learns from mistakes. Fifth rule, develop skills. Persistence is more important than passion. Read books, watch lectures, practice daily. Even 15 minutes with benefit is more important than a day of inspiration. Over time, you'll build up expertise, and that's always appreciated. Sixth rule, balance your motivation. Combine your internal interest with the external demands of the market. You must understand what people need and enjoy yourself at the same time. Ask friends and colleagues to evaluate your idea. Ask if they are willing to pay for it. If yes, move on. Seventh rule, record small victories. A small check from a sale. The first like under an article. The first recommendation. Every little thing is a step forward. Celebrate it. Write it down in a journal. This will keep you motivated without unnecessary drama. You may ask, isn't this boring? Number. It's the foundation of sustainable growth. It's like a gardener watering a tree. He doesn't expect a harvest in a day. He takes care of the roots, regularly, methodically. So do you. Nurture your skills and ideas. Imagine a house. You can't build a strong floor without a foundation. Passion is the bricks. But the foundation is your skills and proven steps. Only on a solid foundation can you build ambition. Only then will you not collapse at the first gust of wind. Stay tuned for the finals. There we'll summarize the results and give you some final advice. You'll learn how to combine Schopenhauer's philosophy and modern methods into a single strategy. And that advice could change everything. Don't miss it. Your path to success is not a fairy tale, but a real story that you will write yourself. You made it to the finals. Thank you for sticking with me. Let's go over the basics real quick. You've learned why the call to follow your passion often turns out to be a trap. It's a beautiful phrase, but it means little without common sense. You realize that passion is like a bright flash, but not always a guide to life. We remembered Schopenhauer. He taught that the will is the source of desire and suffering. Every time you chase a new passion, you risk falling into an endless cycle of expectation and disappointment. He compared man to a mill, spinning with the wind of passions, but not grinding the grain. This image shows that emotions alone do not make us richer or wiser. Next, we looked at contemporary research. The Harvard Business Review and Journal of Career Assessment show that success relies not on the first spark, but on persistence and systemic skill development. Angela Duckworth called it grit, indomitable perseverance. Economists from Oxford have proven that startups survive if they start intelligently, not just with a burning heart. In part 5, we looked at the pitfalls of chasing passion. We talked about burnout when enthusiasm wanes. We talked about how easy it is to lose money and motivation if you ignore the reality of the marketplace. You learned about cognitive traps and how emotion alone can derail even the most talented person. In part 6, I offered you practical rules of thumb. First, you assessed your real strengths. Then you did micro-experiments. Collect feedback, adapted the plan, develop skills, balanced between self-interest and market demands, capture small victories. This approach provides a solid foundation. It protects you from extremes and conserves your energy. Now you can put it all together. True strategy is not a confrontation between passion and reason. It is a synthesis of the two. You use your inner interest to keep from getting bored, and reason, so you don't go to extremes. You don't give up your passions. You learn to channel them into achievement. Your path is one of continuous action. Small steps every day, fact-based decisions, adjustments based on feedback, the ability to say stop to betting too much, the ability to rejoice in even the little things. Each step like this strengthens you and brings you closer to your goal. Think of a mountain traveler. He doesn't rush down the slope. He walks cautiously, evaluating every ledge. He knows that going down is harder than going up. He is not afraid to stop, take off his backpack and check the map. Such a person is sure to reach the top. You too can become such a traveler in life. Your passion is not a lottery ticket. It is the fuel for the real engine. Your mind is your map and compass. Together, they lead to success without unnecessary suffering. If this video helped you see a new strategy, let me know in the comments. Tell us what micro-experiments you've already done or plan to do. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episodes. Your voice is important. Your experience is valuable. Write what you'd like to break down next. Thank you for your attention. Subscribe and leave comments.